First alert weather day, keep in mind some wet roads for the afternoon and evening as thunderstorms build in. A couple of these storms will be capable of being strong and producing some gusty winds as well as heavy rain, which is why there's a first alert weather day. From there, we slowly dry out this week and it'll heat up as it does before you know it. Highs back into the mid-90s. Stay with us on the CW for your next hour of sunrise. I've got the latest hour-by-hour timeline for these showers and thunderstorms of your first alert weather day.
Thank you so much for tuning into Sunrise this morning.
We'll see you in just a few seconds on the CW.
Your first alert. This is WIS 10 Sunrise.
I can talk national politics, local politics, international politics, or you can talk celebrity news, whatever you want. He was just a super, really crackerjack smart guy.
This morning on Sunrise on the CW, the nation remembering the life and legacy of South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, how leaders are reacting to the shocking news of his death, and what happens next in the race for Senate.
Today, a first alert weather day for thunderstorms making their way back into the Carolinas this afternoon and evening. I've got the latest first alert timeline for your first alert weather day coming up.
And the Midlands community continuing to show their support to Jabea Harris, how you can support her family as they grieve the loss of a little girl gone too soon.
Good Monday morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning into Sunrise on the CW. I'm Intisar Fall.
And I'm Alex Ailey. Jumping right into your first alert forecast, we have another first alert weather day to start the week with the possibility of heavy rain and storms moving into the Midlands.
First alert meteorologist Chandler Jordan is standing by. Chandler, what do folks need to know as they make their way out the door this morning? What do they need to have prepared?
You know, it's afternoon and evening thunderstorms. So up until that point, mostly dry, and then we get into our sixth first alert weather day in a row, and that'll be for rain, that'll be for thunder as well. First alert weather day is for showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon and evening. So that's why this first alert weather day is in effect, very similar to the first alert weather days that we had for Saturday, as well as your first alert weather day for Sunday, all driven by our chance for showers and storms. This morning as we wake up, a lot of us are dry. It is a calm start to our Monday. The rain in the upstate making its way into North Carolina this morning. And for some of us, there's a little bit of light rain right now, and that's throughout parts of Saluda, Edgefield, and Newberry counties, but generally speaking, dry for us at this time, and it's warm. Summer-like start with some humidity in place, low and mid-70s your temperature right now if you're headed out over the next few minutes. And a lot of this morning will stay dry, especially up until lunchtime. Due to the cloud cover, it'll be slow to warm by 11 a.m., around 80 degrees, and then this afternoon and evening is your better chance and the best chance today for showers and thunderstorms, especially during the late afternoon and evening. The combination of rain chances and cloud cover keeping us cooler. Your high temperature, only 84 degrees. So that's the good news with having showers and storms around. It will be cooler today. Alex, I'll talk more about this first alert weather day with another check of your first alert forecast in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Chandler. And with this first alert weather day, now is a great time to download our free First Alert Weather app. You can just scan that QR code on your screen to download it for free. You can get push notifications straight to your phone, keeping you updated on the latest information as we track heavy rain and storms across the Midlands. The app is available on Apple and Android devices.
Unexpected shock. Something that happened this abruptly. And processing it right now.
We're heartbroken and saddened and shocked by what's happened.
South Carolina and the nation remembering Senator Lindsey Graham following his shocking and sudden passing over the weekend. At the time of his death, Senator Graham was seeking his fifth term in office.
And now a new nominee will be selected in a special primary, and Governor Henry McMaster will soon appoint a temporary replacement for his Senate seat.
Graham turned 71 just 2 days before his passing. He was a prominent South Carolina political figure, having served in Congress for more than 3 decades. WIS caught up with South Carolina Republican Party Chair Drew McKissick, who shared his thoughts on the shocking news.
Military, whether it was as a pro-life stalwart cause, whether it was keeping Americans safe, about national security issues, other issues that folks in the party cared about, like judiciary. So we have the conservative judges, the judiciary played an incredible role in that. And you know, that's a hole that it's going to be difficult for someone to
Many colleagues and leaders from across the aisle also sharing their condolences to the news. And turning to a live look over our nation's capital this morning, so President Donald Trump has ordered all American flags to be lowered to honor the senator who he called a close ally. The flags will remain lowered until next Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Trump says he spoke to Graham over the phone just hours before his death. Graham had just gotten back from Ukraine. The president saying he sounded fine during their call.
Devastating. My brother was fine. He called me last night. He just got back from Ukraine. And he had a great trip. He was telling me about the trip. He was pushing very, very hard. You probably know he wanted to do the Save America Act. He was talking about that. He was full of vim and vigor. He was tired. He said, I'm tired because it's a long trip. But other than that, he was fine.
And back here at home, Governor Henry McMaster also ordered flags to be lowered to half staff in the State House in remembrance of Senator Graham. He posted on social media saying he and his wife Peggy are grieving with Graham's family, adding in part, quote, Lindsey Graham is irreplaceable, the fiercest of fighters for South Carolina and America, and a loyal and steadfast friend. We shall not see his lights again.
And nominees for Governor Alan Wilson and Jermaine Johnson also weighing in. Wilson releasing a statement that reads in part, quote, Lindsey dedicated his life to serving South Carolina and our nation. From his service in the United States Air Force to the U.S. House and the United States Senate, he never stopped fighting for the people he was elected to represent, end quote.
Meanwhile, Jermaine Johnson saying in part, quote, for more than 3 decades, Senator Graham dedicated his life to serving South Carolina and our country. That commitment deserves respect regardless of political differences, end quote. Of course, for more reaction from state and world leaders, head to WISTV.com, or you can download our free WIS News 10 app. Just scan the QR code there on your screen to get the first alert straight to your phone for free. Our coverage continues throughout the morning, including more on what happens next as South Carolina prepares to pick a new senator for the first time in more than a decade. Well, Senator Lindsey Graham's hometown church in Seneca services continued yesterday after the news of his passing.
The pastor of the church said the service wasn't the same without his friend. Maya Payton reports from the upstate.
The last time he was here, I specifically remember him sitting on the other side of there.
Down on a stretch of Old Clemson Highway sits Senator Lindsey Graham's home church, Corinth Baptist.
This is where he was baptized. He professed Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior.
Her sadness sat heavy in the sanctuary on Sunday morning.
It was just a shock. So he was fine, and then he just felt bad, and then things began to progress from not feeling well to this.
Thank you all.
Pastor Tim Tate said early Sunday morning he gave Graham's sister Darlene a call to share in the sorrow.
God's grace abounds, and His grace is sufficient, and it will be for her, his family, and our nation.
Tate often covered the senator in prayer.
There's so many voices out there, and so many ways to get swayed in different directions, and so I would just pray that God would speak to his heart.
He says whether they were sitting in this church office or in a living room having coffee, one thing never changed.
He loved his job, and he loved America, and so we would talk about other things, but it always went back to America.
In the coming days, there will be a lot of questions surrounding his seat and moving forward. What are you hoping that people do not lose sight of right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously all of that is important. But right now, a life has been lost. And I think we just have to focus on celebrating that life and supporting the family and being there for them.
Looking back on his relationship with Graham, he tries to picture what the senator would say right now.
I could hear him saying something to the effect of, stay strong, keep the faith, keep fighting.
And turning now to a first alert that we've been following since the beginning. Communities across the state showing support for 4-year-old Jabea Harris as the memorial outside of her home continues to grow. Here in the Midlands, residents gathered at Finley Park yesterday, holding a community vigil. Attendees were asked to bring flowers or bubbles as alternatives to balloons as they came together to celebrate Jabea's life. WIS spoke with one community member who shared why it was so important to come together.
like it was a way for the city to give back to the family in remembrance of JaVale. This shows support to the family, letting them know that we're thinking about them and they're in our prayers. I feel like it's important for the community to come together because everyone needs love, and I think it symbolizes love and it shows the family that the community is behind them and support them.
Those in attendance also held a moment of silence.
Meanwhile, as many remember the little girl gone too soon, JaVale's grandmother is now raising her baby sister, who was born the same day investigators say that JaVale was falsely reported missing. Organizers holding a donation drive to the newborn on Saturday at Divine Oasis Salon and Spa on O'Neill Court. Organizers asked for items like diapers, baby formula, clothing items, or any hygiene products for the newborn. We spoke with some folks who donated, saying it was important to show that the community is here to help.
Felt like this is a way of giving back as a community, standing together, trying to help out due to giving to the newborn, and also show the support of the community that we're here to help and assist in any way that we can.
Couldn't make it out this weekend? Don't worry, another drive is scheduled for next weekend in Great Falls. The drive is being held Sunday, July 19th at the Salt of the Earth Event Center. This is along Underwood Avenue. It'll run from 3 p.m. until 5 p.m. For all the info, head to this story at WISTV.com.
Still ahead on the CW, we're continuing our coverage of Senator Lindsey Graham's death.
Find out what's next for his Senate seat and what you need to know about special primary elections coming up. Plus, as we inch closer to the school year, back-to-school bash is happening across the Midlands, making sure kids have all they need to succeed. How one NFL star from Newberry came back home to do his part.
You're seeing a simulation of First Alert radar this afternoon and evening. I'll walk you through the latest hour-by-hour timeline of your First Alert weather day with another check of your First Alert forecast right after this break.
Now, your WIS 10 First Alert news and weather headlines.
Good morning, I'm Alex Ailey. South Carolina and the nation are remembering Senator Lindsey Graham following his shocking and sudden passing. Senator Graham was seeking his 5th term in office, and now a new nominee will be selected in a special primary. In the meantime, Governor McMaster will appoint a temporary replacement for his Senate seat. Now, this is a look at photos of the emergency crews caring for Senator Graham late Saturday.
Today, a first alert weather day. Once we get into the afternoon and evening, scattered showers and thunderstorms will start to fire up, very similar to our first alert weather days from the weekend. And with some of these storms that develop, there is a low severe weather risk and a low flood risk as well. And I'll talk a little bit more about the details of today's first alert weather day in just a few moments. Wanted to give you a quick update in your first alert on the tropics this morning. A lot of the Atlantic calm and quiet at this time. Anticipated that it'll stay this way over the next 7 days. Our friends at the National Hurricane Center aren't keeping an eye out on anything for now. Of course, if that were to change, we'll bring you the first alert, and we'll have your first alert all throughout the Atlantic hurricane season. You can get your first alert on the tropics every hour of every morning right here on Sunrise. As we wake up this morning, a cloudy start for a lot of us. Quite a bit of cloud cover built in throughout the night and into this morning. And that's one of the reasons why as we head into the afternoon, it'll stay cooler. Temperatures are in the low and mid 70s right now, and there are a couple of us dealing with some light rain, mainly throughout parts of Saluda and Edgefield counties. However, today's best chance for a shower or a thunderstorm, not until the afternoon and evening. That'll be the best bet for rain and thunder, is later today. The late afternoon and evening offers up our best chance for showers and storms. Before we get to that point, though, a lot of cloud cover in place, and because of the rain chance, today's high only 84. How about our friends in the upstate? Only making it into the 70s this afternoon. So it is cooler. That is the silver lining to having storms around as well as cloud cover. And with the storms that develop today, as mentioned, low severe weather risk. Most of South Carolina under a level 1 marginal risk of a severe storm. What that means is that a couple of the storms that develop today will be capable of producing some strong winds that could briefly cause a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, there is also a chance of flooding. It is a low risk of flooding, but there is an excessive rainfall risk for all of South Carolina. And what that means is, in particular, places that got a lot of good rain over the weekend, if you get another heavy downpour to pass over, keep in mind places such as a low-lying area within your yard, if you live near a creek or a pond. These could be some examples of areas that with enough heavy rainfall today, there could be a little bit of minor flooding that occurs. And I'll show you what I mean here on First Alert Future Radar. A lot of us are going to stay dry from now up until lunchtime. Once we get into the afternoon, that's where thunderstorm development will begin, in particular late afternoon and evening. You'll notice here by 4, 5, and 6 o'clock, showers and storms begin to blossom. They'll spread across the region through the evening and into tonight. It'll continue for us at least up until about midnight. Once we get past midnight, any leftover shower or thunderstorm will start to fall apart, and that'll dry us out for the start of our Tuesday, although Tuesday and Wednesday does have a lower chance of rain. It won't be as wet as your first alert weather day, but still a few additional showers and storms Tuesday, Wednesday. And then as things dry out by the end of this week, your typical South Carolina summer-like heat will build back in. Later this week, highs in the mid-90s.
A partnership is helping to spotlight how a little extra help with groceries can go a long way for seniors in West Columbia. Brooklyn Lakeview Empowerment Center and Harvest Hope are providing those boxes filled with food items for Lexington County seniors, and they include items like non-perishable foods and juices. Staff says these events are helping ease financial burdens for those seniors.
Most of our seniors are in need and only relying on Social Security as their source of income, and with this program being income-based, they're not receiving much, so this really serves a great importance as far as filling the gap of meeting the needs of the ones who are in need.
The box distribution happens on the second Friday of every month for eligible seniors ages 60 and up. Lexington County seniors interested in receiving those boxes must connect with Brooklyn Lakeview Empowerment Center ahead of time so they can apply for the program.
Meanwhile, Newberry native and Los Angeles Chargers defensive tackle Jamari Caldwell spent part of his Saturday giving back to the community that helped raise him. His back-to-school bash brought families together with free book bags, school supplies, local vendors, and giveaways to help students getting ready for the next school year. The event was about making sure kids have what they need while giving back to the Newberry family that supported him throughout his journey. Caldwell shared what prompted this event and what it meant to see all this support.
I mean, I'm a hometown boy. This is something I always wanted to do. My mom, she's good in the community, and I just thought to myself, I want to give back. I'd never not do this again. This is my first time doing it, and it's a blessing. I take stuff like this, and I really carry it with me.
And you can find other back-to-school bashes that are happening in the Midlands. Just head to our website at wistv.com.
And don't forget, WIS is once again teaming up with Palmetto Project, helping Midlands students and their families head back to school. Through July 26th, you can adopt a school by making a cash donation or pledging school supplies. Head to our website and adopt a school, and those donations can be dropped off starting on July 27th. Our goal is to collect 1,500 backpacks this year, and I think we could do it. So head to wistv.com for all the info.
Coming up on the CW, college football season is less than 7 weeks away. We have a look at how the Gamecocks are preparing right after the break.
On the dashboard. Just saying.
WIS, our Julia Westerman shares a look at the action in this morning's sports wrap.
We're counting down the days until the college football season. South Carolina kicks off the 2026 schedule against Kent State on September 5th. The Gamecocks face the Golden Flashes and Towson in the first 2 weeks before opening SEC play week 3 against Mississippi State. Transfer defensive tackle Kelby Collins has played in the SEC before at both Florida and Alabama, and he'll be in the Garnet and Black for his final season of eligibility. Now, his brother Drew comes to USC from Arkansas State, but he's gotten the full rundown from Kelby on what to expect when you play in the SEC.
You gotta come in here and you just gotta make a statement because, like, this is the top, this is the highest level you can get in college. So you just gotta come and you gotta handle your business.
So I played South Carolina since my freshman year, and the fan base is always crazy. It's always rocking. Games are never like, it's never an empty seat. fans, they're going to scream their hardest. They're going to give it everything they got. And it definitely makes a difference in the game being on the opposite side. It's hard to play in South Carolina, and I'm glad and I'm proud to be on the other side now, so they don't bother me anymore.
Well, it's time for the MLB All-Star break, and the Atlanta Braves could benefit from some time away. They still sit atop the National League East, but their lead has dwindled over the past several weeks. They sit just 2 games ahead of Philadelphia, 54-40 overall, heading into Sunday afternoon series finale in St. Louis. Top of the 4th, game tied at 1. Drake Baldwin rips a single into right field. Austin Riley comes home for the lead. It's initially called an out, but he's safe after the review. The Braves go up 2-1. Cardinals trailing 3-1 in the 6th. Jose Fermin brings home 2 to tie it up, and it stays knotted at 3 until the 9th. Top of the inning, Mauricio Dubon grounds to short, but Ozzie Albies will score on the error. Braves take a 4-3 lead. That score holds, and Atlanta wins the final game before the break. They're back in action next weekend against the Rangers. That's a look at sports. I'm Julia Westerman.
So to come this morning on Sunrise, South Carolina is represented on the national stage. We have 2 barbecue pitmasters joining us in the kitchen this morning to talk about their experience on a new Food Network show that premieres tonight. Stick with us.
This is WIS 10 Sunrise.
Thanks for sticking with us here on the CW this morning. Turning to a first alert out of Richland County. 2 people dead following a shooting Saturday night on Willow Oak Drive at the Greenbrier Apartments. The county coroner says 21-year-old Quentin Wilson and 20-year-old Tony Mosley both died in that shooting. One other person was hurt and taken to the hospital. No other details have been provided at this time, but of course, as we learn any new details, we'll bring them to you on air and online.
The South Carolina Highway Patrol is investigating a deadly crash that happened early yesterday morning in Richland County. Troopers say it happened on Dudamede Street in Eastover. Investigators say a 2017 Hyundai Elantra hit a person who was lying in the road. The pedestrian died at the scene, and the crash remains under investigation. South Carolina and the nation have lost a titan in the Senate. Senator Lindsey Graham passed away suddenly at the age of 71 yesterday.
Graham served in the states in Congress for more than 30 years. Kevin Bishop, one of Graham's longtime staffers, is remembering his former boss and friend, who he worked for decades.
He was a guy who could make things happen. And when he was on your side, he was highly influential. And when he opposed you, he probably drove you crazy and made you incredibly mad. He just was a great guy, great friend. He realized his job was serious, but he never took himself too serious, which is a little bit unique in the Senate.
As tributes continue to pour in, the South Carolina Election Commission is scrambling to put together a primary to elect a new Republican candidate for Senate. And this comes as they're also preparing for November's general election.
Well, here's what we know about the primary. The filing period for the special election could begin as soon as July 21st. That's next Tuesday. The Republican primary is scheduled for August 11th. If no candidate wins a majority, a runoff will be held on August 25th. The State Election Commission's Executive Director, Conway Belangia, says this is definitely something election officials don't often deal with.
So unusual that we have to go back and we have to research. We have to look at everything. We got to make sure that we're correct in our next steps forward.
Faced Democratic nominee Dr. Annie Andrews in November. Meanwhile, Governor Henry McMaster is expected to appoint a temporary senator to fill Graham's seat until January.
Today, a First Alert weather day. Once we get into the late afternoon and evening, similar to our First Alert weather days that we had this weekend, showers and thunderstorms will develop. And so the areas of rain and thunder will start to return once we get into the second half of the day. Up until that point, most of us have been dry so far this morning. There is a little bit of light rain making its way throughout parts of Saluda and Newberry counties, but this is simply light rain. For most of us, it is dry right now, mostly cloudy sky, and it is warm if you're up and at it over the next few minutes. A lot of our temperatures in the low and mid 70s. Good morning, Lexington, Columbia, waking up at 74 right now, and a warm 73 to greet you in Bishopville if you happen to be headed outside here over the next few minutes. Once we get through the morning and up until lunchtime, mostly dry. I do think for a lot of us, it won't rain until the afternoon and evening, and it's the second half of the day where we have the best chance for thunderstorms. Later today, rain and thunder builds in. That, combined with the cloud cover we have, keeps us a lot cooler. How about that? Today's high temperature only 84 degrees, so at least with the rain and thunder around, it will be cooler this afternoon, and I'll talk more about this First Alert weather day with another check of your First Alert forecast coming up in a few minutes.
One team is going to come out on top and be the pitmaster champion.
Yeah!
Sir. Yip, yip. I'm Andrew Zimmer. Cooked a lot of food, eaten a lot of food, and I'm really excited to see what you guys have ready for us this week.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Teams of the world's most elite Pitmasters are setting off flames, competing in a non-stop week-long battle for barbecue glory and Food Network's all-new series, Pitmasters. Bold flavor, innovation, and mastery of the pit is the name of the game, and the teams showcase their unique culinary perspective.
And we know you can't talk about barbecue without bringing South Carolina into the conversation. That's why we have local award-winning chefs Franklin Miller and Chris Williams blessing our WIS kitchen this morning. Thank you guys so much for stopping by.
No problem. My pleasure. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. We are so excited to talk to both of you. Now, Chris, you grew up in Bamberg County.
Yep.
Franklin is from right here in Columbia. So let's take us back a little bit here. When did you both find your love for the pit?
Oh man, I've been in love with food, period, since, I don't know, man, elementary, as early as I can think of, man. And when you talk about South Carolina and you talk about events, barbecue is always present. There's always somebody on the grill at every event, whether it be a birthday party, birthday shower, baby shower, no matter what. So I've always been in love with food, so the pit it's only natural.
It brings us together. Frank,
Yeah.
how about you?
Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Family, always having functions and cookouts, just watching. I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Because you saw people just kind of like gravitate to the person who could cook, and they showed them that kind of respect. So I was like, I wanted that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for anyone who might not know, and I know for myself, I'm not from South Carolina, but what makes South Carolina barbecue stand out?
Ooh. Well, for one, we're one of the only places in the country where we have a regional sauce thing. You know what I mean? You go to a lot of barbecue joints in the state, and they'll say, hey, what kind of barbecue do you have? But they're not talking about the protein, they're talking about the sauce, i.e. the light tomato, heavy tomato, the mustard, thanks to the Germans, and the vinegar base. So it just depends on where you are in the state. That's the type of barbecue you get, and there's not a lot of places like that in the country. So that alone, and aside from being the birthplace, just saying.
Just saying. And you know, I'm gonna be a little biased here because I'm from the Midwest. I'm from St. Louis, so you know we have our Kansas City barbecue out there. But I will say, South Carolina,
It's good barbecue,
it has that taste when it comes to the sauce specifically. Now, when we're talking about the rules of smoking, give us a secret here. What is a true secret to smoking the best way? How long does it need? Low and slow. Okay.
So you want to always go slow and low with that temperature, and you'll get the best combination of a good smoky meat, tender, low and slow.
Just take your time, man. Take your time. Don't rush.
Don't rush it,
Don't
right?
rush.
Slow
Don't
and
rush.
steady wins the race. Speaking of races, y'all are going to be competing in this amazing Food Network show. So while you tell us about it, kind of give us a demo here of what we're going to be whipping up.
Well, this morning, man, we are making our pulled pork nachos. These have been a part of the Roy's Grill menu now for a little bit more of a decade.
Okay.
We keep them simple because we want to highlight our pork instead of putting a whole lot of toppings and dressing it up with a whole lot of this, a lot of that. That's cool, no disrespect. But for what we're trying to do, we're just trying to highlight our barbecue. So one of the first things, I'll tell you what, I'll kind of put this together, and I'll let Frank go ahead and start to tell you guys something about the show, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, he's building the nachos. I can get y'all the show. We had fun doing it.
Bottom line.
That was like the premise of it. Let's go ahead and have fun.
You know what am I
got a
doing?
chance to showcase
Let's
South
just put
Carolina
it all on
barbecue
there. What
and
am
what
I
we
doing?
can do. And so we want to make sure we put our best foot forward and represent the state.
And when you're talking about the competition, I mean, what time frame did you guys have? How many hours, to like put everything together and present it for the judges?
Ooh,
It was different. It was different. Yeah, so they would give us, I don't know, they would say, hey, this is a 9-hour cook, or this is a 10-hour cook, this is a 12-hour cook. But
in the midst of that,
in the midst of us doing whatever challenge we had to do, they'll say, hey guys, so now on top of your blase, blase, blah, you have 1 hour to complete. They'll throw in a little monkey wrench and make us do a challenge inside of the challenge. So it was a lot, but like Frank said, it was fun. It was well worth it. We got an opportunity to represent ourselves, our businesses, our state, our heritage, our family. And I think you guys will see a lot of that come out. A lot of that will shine once you're actually able to see the show. Once you hear about what we're talking about and you see what we're actually doing, I think it's going to resonate with a lot of our SC people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? A lot of my low country family
For sure.
should be really proud of what they're going to see.
I know
when
that
they
we
actually
are-
watch this show.
We are so honored to have you guys this morning. Here we go.
Here we
The
go,
pulled pork
guys. Y'all
nachos.
gotta try it.
As we're
Y'all
going to get
gotta
into
try it.
that, I want to
Here we
make sure
go,
you guys
guys.
have all the information for the show so you can watch. So Alex, go ahead and take the first
All
taste
right.
test for us, and I'll let you guys know where you can watch again. All the information will be on our website, WISTV.com.
Gotta get some of
Pitmasters
that cheese.
premieres tonight
queso.
at 9 o'clock on the Food Network. So be sure that you tune in so you can cheer on Chris and Frank. Thank you,
Yeah,
fellas,
man.
so much for stopping by.
Our
I already know our
pleasure.
producers are going to be coming down to tear up these nachos in just a minute. And we'll have all the information about Roy's Grill as well, linked with this story at WISTV.com. Stick with us. We got more Sunrise on the other side of the break.
to our newsroom this morning. A man killed in a crash on Friday in Richland County has been identified as 44-year-old Austin Lassane. Highway Patrol says he was killed when he crashed head-on into a tractor trailer near McCord's Ferry Road and Leesburg Road in Eastover. The driver of the tractor trailer was taken to the hospital with injuries, but their condition is unknown at this time. The crash remains under investigation.
Well, if you've noticed gas prices slowly creeping back up, you're not imagining things.
Our Jennifer Roberts has your first alert to why this is happening right now. Jennifer, why is it? I'm sure, I mean, we're all frustrated about it.
I know we all want to save our coins when we can. Well, as the fighting between the United States and Iran intensifies, data shows oil prices are climbing as well. This means you could begin to feel more impasse at the pump if the fighting continues. According to AAA, this statewide average for a gallon of regular gas right now is $3.58. This is up 15 cents from a week ago. Premium is up around 17 cents and diesel over 20 cents higher compared to last week. However, the current average for all three fuels still remains less than it was compared to a month ago. This comes as the U.S. and Iran continue to exchange strikes in the Middle East. Overnight, the United States says it struck dozens of Iranian military targets. Investors are closely watching the Strait of Hormuz, a critical shipping route for the world's oil supply. Any disruption there could drive oil prices even higher. It's still too early to tell what the ongoing strikes could mean for you at the pump, but analysts say continued fighting in the region could result in more hits to your wallet. I'm Jennifer Roberts with your First Alert.
All right, thank you, Jennifer, for that update. Well, your first alert to a crackdown on speeders. If you have plans to hit the road soon, then listen up. The annual Operation Southern Slowdown is now underway, which is a multi-state effort that targets speeding and distracted driving. During that time, you'll notice both marked and unmarked patrol cars on the road. So remember to slow down, put away distractions like your phone, and be sure to buckle up. The operation runs through next Sunday, the 19th.
And besides seeing more law enforcement on the roadways, you might be dealing with heavy rain and some storms later today here in the Midlands. So before you get behind the wheel, here are some things that you need to remember when driving in wet road conditions. The South Carolina Department of Public Safety says wet roads means slow down. Leave extra space between you and the car in front of you. And remember to turn on your headlights when it's raining. Avoid using cruise control in the rain to ensure that you can regain control of the vehicle. And if you come across standing water like any flooded areas, don't try to drive through it. Remember, turn around, don't drown. Of course, leave some extra time for your drive home this afternoon and evening when the rain is going to be heaviest.
Definitely. Well, we have another First Alert weather day, so let's bring in meteorologist Chandler Jordan. Chandler, how's it looking out there?
Yeah, you know, this morning calm for a lot of us, and it'll stay calm up until lunchtime. But by the afternoon and evening, that's where we have the best chance for thunderstorms. That's why a First Alert weather day has been issued, and it's our 6th one in a row. And we had showers and thunderstorms over the weekend, so very similar to the First Alert weather day Saturday and the First Alert weather day for Sunday is what we'll have for today's First Alert weather day. Thunderstorms during the afternoon and evening, low severe weather risk and a low flood risk as well. So with a couple of the storms that developed this afternoon and evening, a level 1 of 5 marginal risk has been issued by the Storm Prediction Center. What that means is that a couple of the storms for later today capable of producing gusty winds that could briefly cause a severe thunderstorm warning. And as the heavier rain starts to build in with some of these thunderstorms as they strengthen, that's also why there's a low flood risk. A slight excessive rainfall risk has been issued for all the areas you see shaded in yellow. And what it means is that especially for areas that got some heavy rain over the weekend, if enough heavy rain forms and develops over these areas, there could be some minor flooding in the form of low-lying areas in your yard. If you live near a creek, live near a pond, these could be some places that with enough heavy rain could cause a little bit of flooding. And so that's what we'll keep an eye out for your First Alert weather day this afternoon and evening. First Alert Future Radar this morning, dry. Notice how a lot of us stay dry from now up until lunchtime, and then your first alert weather day will really kick in during the afternoon and evening. That's where scattered showers and thunderstorms will fire up across the region. That'll continue early tonight. I'd say up until midnight. We have a storm chance in your first alert forecast. Once we get past midnight, any leftover shower or thunderstorm will start to fall apart, and that'll dry us out as we get into the beginning of our Tuesday. This morning, most of us dry, a little bit of light rain across parts of Newberry and Saluda counties. That's it. Most of the rain of this morning has stayed in the upstate and moving into North Carolina, although keep in mind today's best chance for us during the afternoon and evening. Until that point, though, a lot of cloud cover in place, as you can see from our Bull Street studios, and it is a warm morning for us. A lot of temperatures in the low and mid 70s. So as far as what to wear as you're getting dressed today, just keep in mind thunderstorms will return this afternoon and evening. So light clothing to help you stay cool. And if you have supper plans, out running errands later today, whatever it might be, your rain gear will come in handy for you during the late afternoon and evening as these thunderstorms pass by. And the good news is that even though we do have thunderstorms around and all this cloud cover, it'll keep us cooler. Today's high temperature only 84, so that'll be a nice change of pace from the heat that we've had lately. Through the middle of this week, rain chances will slowly come to an end, and instead, in true South Carolina fashion, a typical summer-like South Carolina heat for later this week, with highs climbing back into the mid-90s.
So to come this morning, one father and son proving the journey can be just as special as the destination. How an 18-day bike ride created memories that'll last a lifetime.
lots of wonderful vendors and sponsors, and just fun on the lake for everybody.
This marked 15 years of Lake Murray Palooza and the second year that the festival had been open to people both on and off the water.
More than 450 cyclists are riding across South Carolina to help end Alzheimer's. The 3-day Ride to End Alz kicked off on Friday and wrapped up this weekend. The route ran from Simpsonville to Charleston, along with stops in Newberry and Orangeburg. The 257-mile ride raises money for the Alzheimer's Association, supporting research, care, and local programs.
I started doing this 6 years ago when my mom was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, and it just seemed like something that I could do that made me feel like I was doing something about it. It's not a race, it's a great event, but in a way it kind of feels like a race. It's kind of a race against time.
Organizers say the event raised more than $1.2 million.
Today at First Alert Weather Day, some afternoon and evening thunderstorms will pass through. That's our best chance of rain is during the late afternoon and evening. A couple of these storms will produce some heavy rain and some gusty winds, so keep an eye out for your first alert later today. From there, rain chances will slowly drop off through the middle and end of this week, and then typical true summer-like South Carolina heat for the middle and end of this week. Highs in the low and mid 90s, so enjoy the 80s while we have it. That'll be a nice change with the rain around and the cloud cover.
And make sure you download that WIS First Alert Weather app too, because Chandler, you and the team put this together, but what I love about it is you can track the radar, so wherever you are in real time, you can check your phone, see if the rain is coming in your area.
Yeah, we've got the First Alert radar on there, so you can track showers and storms if you have plans this afternoon and evening, and then things will dry out before it heats up later this week.
Definitely. And like you said, enjoy the 80 degrees. Yeah. Nice while it's here.
So refreshing to hear 80.
It is.
Right?
Yeah, I haven't said that in a while.
For sure. Thank you so much for tuning into the CW this morning, everyone. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow.